In this video I'm going to be working out one example problem where we are dealing with parametric equations. So the example we're going to look at here says write the rectangular equation of the curve with the given parametric equations where 0 is less than or equal to t less than or equal to 2 pi, and my two parametric equations are x equals 2 cosine t, y equals 2 sine t. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to take a look at these equations, and I'm going to want to solve for cosine t and sine t. Okay, so let's just draw a little line here in red. I'm starting the problem here. Okay, so if I solve for cosine t, then basically I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So I'm going to have x over 2 is equal to cosine t. Same thing here, if I divide both sides by 2, I'm going to have a y over 2 is equal to sine t. Alright, now my ultimate goal here is I need to write an equation that is ultimately not going to use the t's. I do have trig functions. I have a cosine and a sine, so if you can think of a trig identity involving sine and cosine, which would allow me to do some substitutions, alright, to get rid of those sine t's and the cosine t, then that's the way you want to go. In this particular case, we're going to want to use the sine squared t plus cosine squared t equals 1 identity. Alright, and originally, you probably had memorized that as sine squared x plus cosine squared x equals 1. It really doesn't matter what the variable is. In this case, I need it to be a t, so I wrote it with a t. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this trig identity, and I'm just going to do a substitution. I know what cosine t is, I know what sine t is, so I can just square both of them. Alright, so sine squared t, my sine t is going to be y over 2, and I'm going to square it, plus I know what cosine is, so that's going to be x over 2, and then I'm going to square it, and that's going to be equal to 1. Alright, if I go ahead and do some simplifying here, I'll have a y squared over a 4 plus an x squared over a 4 is equal to 1. If I do just a little bit more simplifying, I could multiply through by 4. Alright, and let's go ahead, since we can kind of see where this is going. I've got an x squared and a y squared, so I'm leaning towards the fact that this is going to be a circle, so I'm going to go ahead and put my x term first. So multiplying through by 4 and rearranging x squared and y squared, I'm going to have x squared plus y squared is equal to 4. And that's going to be my rectangular equation of my curve, and my curve in this case is going to be a circle. Alright, so just one really short, quick example there of dealing with some parametric equations. Alright, and writing a rectangular equation when given those parametric equations. Definitely thanks for watching. If the videos are helping, don't forget to share with your friends, and also subscribe to the channel. Thanks.